everyone, we are from Group 5. We would like to present you with our booklet, The Life Cycle of a Plastic Bottle. The targeted age group is 13 years old onwards. This booklet allows the reader to be exposed to the understanding of how plastic bottles will transform into microplastics through physical and chemical degradation. The provenance of plastic bottles that are thrown away is ending up to be buried in the landfills, incinerated, or even in the ocean. It's less likely a plastic bottle will be recycled, as the awareness of the community towards recycling plastic bottles are relatively low.
So plastic is made through an oil refinery through chemically bonding the oil and gas molecules together, making monomers. A string of monomers becomes a polymer chain, which is then made into plastic pellets, melted, and we form into plastic molds. We use plastic because it is versatile, durable, and lightweight. It can be transformed easily, resistant towards abrasion, and it doesn't break easily like glass.
The alternatives for plastics are stainless steel, bamboo, glass, and paper-based products. These aforementioned substitutes for plastics are much eco-friendly, reusable, and most importantly, sustainable towards our environments.
Plastic is marine debris in the ocean is nothing new to us. We've seen it on the news, read about it, and perhaps has personally seen how plastic has ruined our pretty beaches. But did you know a plastic bottle takes many years to degrade in the ocean physically? The degradation here will cause it to break from a plastic piece into smaller and smaller pieces. Once these pieces reaches the size of less than 5 millimeters in diameter, this is microplastic, and it is killing our ocean and us.
Microplastics are further to be categorized into primary and secondary microplastics. Primary microplastics are tiny plastics that are designed for commercial usages, for example, shredding from clothes, 3D printing, and other textiles. The most classical example is the exfoliating skincare products, such as face wash, which contain microbeads. In contrast, secondary microplastics are plastics that are degraded from a large plastic into smaller sized plastic pieces. Photodegradation is primarily contributed to the existence of secondary microplastics. This process will eventually produce plastics that will integrate into the marine ecosystem through bioaccumulation.
Plastic and microplastics are the primary culprits harming marine life. Plastic ingestion, suffocation, starvation, and restricted movements of the marine life have been reported on the news. All marine species, including seals, sea turtles, seabirds, and zooplanktons, are affected. Apart from that, corals are also one of the imperative life forms impacted by plastics. When coral reefs come into contact with plastic waste, bleaching occurs as bacteria on the plastic can infect the corals and block the needed sunlight. You see a plastic or microplastic in the ocean? We can tell the difference, but a turtle won't. It looks like a jellyfish on their food. Ingesting it will rupture their internal organs, abstaining from eating as they are constantly feeling full. Eventually, they starve to death. Scientists have found microplastic contaminating a groundwater source that accounts for 25% of global drinking water supply. The toxic pollutants of microplastic poses danger to marine organisms by disrupting the hormone system, growth, and change behavior of organisms. On us, it damages our nervous system, causing diarrhea, increasing the risk of cancer, and also leading to death.
Airborne microplastics are relatively new in our community. There are limited studies focused on such microplastics. Imagining the microplastics have got to a new height to pollute the environment by scattering itself in the air, some researchers suggested that it will significantly affect human health by affecting our respiratory system, as they will accumulate in the alveoli and lead to lung inflammation. Their presence is inevitably a potential threat to the environment and also our health as well. The bioaccumulation of microplastics in marine organisms is highlighted quite frequently in the scientific communities. It has a domino effect on the food web of the ecosystem, from the foundation to the apex of the food chain. Evidently, the apex of the food chain will definitely be the victim after all. Don't forget, humans are not spared from this.
300 million tons of plastic are produced every year, with 50% of these are single-use plastic. 500 million plastic bags are used worldwide annually, with more than 8 million tons of plastic dumped into the ocean every year. More than 90% of seabirds have plastic pieces in their stomachs. 1 million plastic bottles are brought worldwide every second, with only 7% recycled. The rest, buried in landfills. 39,000 to 52,000 tiny plastic pieces are ingested by humans yearly. 1,100,000. This is the number of seabirds and marine mammals killed annually from plastics in the ocean.
The Great Pacific Garbage Patch is the largest collection of marine plastics among the 5 garbage patches around the world. The accumulated rubbish was pulled into a vortex of large, swirling ocean current. For your information, the Great Pacific Garbage Patch is approximately 3 times the size of France, which is ample to fill 1,000 Olympic-sized pools with plastics. The amount of microplastics in garbage patch will continue to increase as more plastics are discarded into marine environments, be it directly or indirectly. Organizations such as the Ocean Cleanup develop numerous technologies to get rid of the plastics in the vast ocean. They have even undergone an expedition with 30 boats simultaneously and also surveyed the garbage patch by using sensors to reconstruct larger debris and calculating the mass of it in the ocean. Eventually, 1.2 million plastic samples are collected, sorted, identified, and calculated by their types and sizes. This monumental task had taken 2 years to complete. The estimation of the garbage patch is around 1.8 trillion plastics with a mass of 80,000 tons. There are 2 international NGOs that are advocated to clean the ocean free from plastics. For example, 4Ocean and Ocean Conservations.
We play a part in reducing our waste in the ocean through practicing the 5R, which is to reduce, reuse, recycle, rethink, and refuse. We reduce through minimizing the usage of plastic microbeads containing products such as exfoliating face wash and so on. We reuse through using single-use plastic bags for shopping trips and getting your own shopping bags instead of using plastic bags. We recycle through recycling any recyclable products we use and encouraging the community to recycle. We rethink through giving new purposes to empty containers, such as repurposing them as flower pots. We refuse the usage of single-use plastics when offered. Instead, opt for more eco-friendly materials such as packing food into containers or reusable bags.
The cleanliness of the ocean will sustain our marine ecosystem in the long run. It will determine the diversity which is living in the ecosystem and also ensure the productivity of our ocean, as that will support our ocean ecosystem and indirectly give us some impacts on our economy, society, and also our environment. The ocean free from microplastic manages to provide us with cleaner coastal environments, seabed, and so forth. Besides, marine life can be sustained as that could minimize the possibility of marine animals such as sea turtles and seabirds from ingesting plastics that will lead to obstruction of their digestive tract, which resulted in death. Next, oceans that are free from microplastics will contribute to the locals' economy by attracting more tourists to the beaches due to less pollution. By that, the locals manage to yield more profits, in turn, boost the country's GDP. Also, oceans with less pollution will be able to sustain and preserve our environment and the habitats for the animals that dwell in that ecosystem. With less pollution, marine organisms in those areas will strive to recover from anthropogenic disturbance and other stresses as well.
Our actions and decisions today will shape the way we will be living in the future. Hence, instilling a good practice in recycling practice items and reducing the usage of microbeads-contained products can minimize the impact of marine animals, environments, and also human beings. #Kita jaga laut kita. Thank you and goodbye signing out.